Hello YouTube, welcome to my video tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to vibe code on Crusader Kings 3, make simple mods. This also works for other Paradox games, like Victoria 3, Victoria 2, Hearts of Iron, right? A lot of them follow the same kind of system. There'll be some slight differences, but not that major, okay? And I will show you how I make my scripts. I'll show you I'll give you a rundown of how modding works. Very simple, don't get overwhelmed. For example, right, this is my mod for Crusader Kings 3, Rise and Fall, right? A lot of cool systems are added. Realm stability, venture camps, declaring war, traits, more GUI modding, GUI modding, I think it's called, okay, GUI, okay, and it's simple, okay, it's actually not that bad, I promise you, especially with the usage of AI if you use it correctly. It's like a calculator, okay, I know some people are into AI, it's probably not the video for you. I'm pro AI, I think it's very useful, it's like a calculator. I like the advancements in technologies we have today, okay? Especially because now it's a lot easier and saves you a lot of time, okay? So what's I'm not gonna waste time here, right? I don't like wasting time. We're gonna be quick. We're gonna be fast, right? Well, you're gonna get 3 folders in here for your workspace. Oh yeah, Visual. Also, I use the program Visual Studio Code, okay? Because it has the AI systems built in for the agent mode. Very, very important. I don't know if you have some other kind of system that has it. I know there's a lot of different AI tools that have their own coding workspace. I'm sure everything is similar. So if you got something like that, no problem. Okay. Okay. So here is the first thing, is you want to have 3 game folders. Logs, alright, for the errors. Easy way to find your log errors. Game, alright, your game folder. Okay, and development, your mod folder, okay? You should know how to make a mod by now. You go on the Paradox Launcher, press new mod, easiest part, okay? Next, here's the important part, is the prompts, right? This is what I used as a prompt. I try to tailor it, right? So you can find this in the description for my mod, and the prompts, right? So you can do something like this too. So you can have the AI read some files and then have it write an LMM script. Alright, so we have scope here, GUI editing, press claims here, okay, for the AI. But it's also good to like read, okay? Next is very important is the docs, right? You're gonna have the data types here if you're gonna do GUI editing, and you're gonna have the regular docs, okay? This is easy to make. Just do script docs in the console and it should generate it, and you can put that in, okay? Why is this important? Why is this game important? Why is the docs important? It's so the AI can read it and knows, because the AI is not trained on paradox modding, alright, but it's trained on logic systems. As long as it knows as long as it knows what kind of code to use, it will use it, okay? So that's really what it is, okay? And I'll show you why this is important later now. Okay, so here's another important thing: is when you mod, you want to use the exact same folder type. So if I want to edit the laws, I'll make a laws folder. That's exactly the same in the common folder, right? The game laws. I don't know what is empty. I don't even know why I have this. So delete that. Okay, no problem. Modifiers, right? Boom, boom, simple. Exact same code structure for the game. Okay. Don't get overwhelmed. Just keep up, right? Script values, blah blah blah. Okay, you get what I'm saying. All right. So a lot of the actions you do for modding, like probably, I assume most mods are gonna be using the on action, right? What's the on action? Simple, okay? There's an on action code, right? Such as yearly global post, right? So we're gonna separate this just for reference, right? Like this, okay? That way it's easier. Okay, yearly global posts. It's a non-action. How do you know it's a non-action? Well, we can just search it. Yearly global post on action. There we go. What does it do? It's just a global post. That's it. Every year it runs. Whatever's in the on action, it runs, right? So Rise and Fall Year Adventure. Once every year, it's gonna run this. What's it gonna do? Checks for a trigger. Trigger, easy. Trigger, like what will make this work? What makes my yearly adventurer script work? It's easy. If you have the game rule, there it is. If it does not have the game rule, it does not fire. Okay? And what's the effect? Boom, we're gonna have it on, and then we're gonna have it on the effect here, right? Every living character. See, everything you search up, color, effect, every living character, every all living character. See, easy. Okay. Another thing you gotta keep in mind: supported scopes and supported targets. I'll get in that later. Okay, limit. What's the limit? It's basically the same as a trigger, but for the code, right? So this means every living character who has more than 0 claims, right? 1 claim or more. We're gonna save a scope, right? We're gonna say their name is Candy, okay? Don't worry about it too much. And then we're gonna run the script. Scripted effect. What does this do? Well, easy. We can just search it up. What does this do? Where does this go? Oh, where does this go? Into a scripted effects folder, right? Now, why do you script effects? It's just easier. You can also do it in the on action, for example. You could literally just copy this entire thing, blah blah blah, for example, and just put it in here. Well, you know, it's messy now. Look how messy it is. Not good. You know, it's not clean. We keep it clean by putting it in a scripted effects folder, because now everything you want to edit for this will be right here in the scripted effects. Got it? Understood? Keeping up? Alright. An example, that's all it does. It just fires this effect right here, all the way to the end. Boom, right? What does this do? It just generates, it checks more, so it checks for the candidate, scope candidate, right? So everybody who's saved like this has been saved as candidate, right? So exists, I'm going to scope them out. Simple. Why do we have this? I don't know. I think the AI fucked this one up, to be honest with you. I don't even think this is a real thing. How do we, this is actually good for demonstration purposes. How do we know if this is real? It's not. It doesn't show up anywhere. So we get rid of this. Simple. I don't know why. AI messed up. It happened. See? There it is. That's another thing. That's how you check. So let's do that one more time. I just noticed AI did something that's crazy. Doesn't show up anywhere. Doesn't show up in the games? Game files? No. That's another thing. Sometimes things might not show up in the docs, but it might show up in the game file. You understand? And you see it does not show up in the game files at all. Nowhere. Okay? So, we're going to get rid of it. Bye-bye. You know, bye-bye. We're gonna get rid of it. Okay, easy. That's that because the AI is gonna Hussein code. That's part of the system. I don't know how it works with that. Shouldn't the script shouldn't even fire, but who knows? Okay, then I realized we had that. But another thing, see the color. That's also important. See how this made-up code is not colored. Okay, why is that? Not all. Now 99% of the time that means it's AI just made something up. Alright, we're gonna go to the extensions and we're going to download Paradox Highlight. So most things that are syntaxes will be highlighted. Not almost everything, okay? So for example, is dynast, I believe, equals yes, right? Does not highlight. But if you search it up, there's an actual code that shows up in the game, right? The vanilla files use it, you see? Vanilla files use it. So, that's another thing I keep in mind. That's why it's very important to keep searching for things that you don't know exist or not. Okay? So, we'll get rid of it. So now you know basically how scopes work, how on actions work. So a lot of the things you do will be on actions, right? How do we know what are on actions? What do we know what they do? Simple. We'll go on the docs. It's all documented. We'll go on actions. And here are all your on actions and what they scope to. So, for example, murder ongoing. If murder is ongoing, it's going to scope to the character. I'm not 100% sure, but what I believe is going to be what it scopes is to the character being murdered or murdering. Okay, that's just my guess. But you see what I mean. You have to experiment a little bit. Okay, I don't know everything. I don't use most of these. Okay, but you get the system, right? Let's say on vassal change. Whenever a vassal changes, I assume it's going to scope to the leisure ward, right? Just my guess. Now, I don't want to keep guessing and making up stuff up, right, like an AI, right? So I'll do something that I do know. On War 1, I believe. Yeah, on War 1 attacker, right? So it doesn't say the scope here, but it scopes to the character, I believe. Let me just double check. Well, yeah, so it scopes to the character. You would scope defender, scope attacker, for example, right? So it doesn't say what to do, but you figure it out eventually. You get what I'm saying? Okay, it's not... This one, it's a bit tough. Okay, I don't... It just takes... You gotta get used to it, okay? Sometimes you can just search up the vanilla files and see how to do it, right? So, let's search up this on action and what shows up. Boom. So you would see how the game uses these. Scope attacker, scope defender, right? Basically, okay. Alright. So now, I don't think there's really much else to say. On actions is mostly what you'd be using into a scripted effect, alright? A lot of things you do will be in on action into a scripted effect, right? There are some, I guess, differences. Like if you want to update GFX art, it's not going to use an on action. Or if you just want to update the art or update localization, simple. You don't have to. Okay, you want to update localization? That's it. Just change something here. Easy, okay? You can figure this one out on your own. I don't need a tutorial for that, okay? So some things are, but most things are going to use on actions where I assume most people are modding, right? Because a lot of things are going to need a script, okay? And remember, so let me go over the docs. I did skip over the docs. Hopefully, okay. So triggers is basically the limitations, right? Like for example, number of fertile concubines, right? If let's say a ruler has, we can make a code like ruler has less than 3 fertile concubines, we'll use as a trigger. Then fire an effect. You know what I'm saying? Or use as a limit. And you already seen them in demonstration here with the limit on any claim, right? If you search up any claim, it's gonna show up as a trigger. See what I mean? Okay, simple. Modifiers, pretty simple. Just creates a modifier. This one I don't think is need a tutorial. Event targets. This one is basically be honest with you, I don't really use this much, so it's kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's basically just targeting something, okay? Targeting a vassal contract, and you can see what is supported, what is supported, what is not, right? So let's say you target the vassal contract, it's gonna give the game the vassal contract as an output scope, okay? So not the best example. Let's say you target a trait, like trait honest. Actually, let me find a better example. Something I would know. Let's say gold. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really used this much. Okay, so I think actually we do scope. Scope is actually one. I just saw it somewhere. Boom, right here, scope. References a global previously safe scope, which is what we do with the scope here, okay, so I know. Safe scope as candidate, right? So now, in this entire script, candidate will be safe. So anybody counts like this will be candidate, right? Example, and then safe scope is candidate, and we scope it out as candidate right here, see? That's how an event target works. You basically help link something, okay? I don't use it much, other than, I guess, the variables and scopes, so I guess not the best. I'm not the best teacher for that. Event scopes. Not too familiar with this, to be honest with you. I'm gonna skip it. But it seems like it just shows you the scope for event. Okay. Effects is basically the effect of what it does. Okay. Example would be. Example would be the spawn army effect I have here, okay, for Create Adventure. What does it do? Tell you exactly everything it does here. Everything that's supported, scope. So when you spawn an army, you have to scope it to a character, correct? And what do we have here? Scoped to a character, Adventure Child. So let's run this. Let's run this script right here. Let's run the logic on this script. Rise and Fall, Create Adventure. What happens? So we have all this advanced blah 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 calculations being done, mostly made by the AI. Okay, tailored by me. Blah blah blah. We have this on a random chance. So all the calculations will be on a random chance. Hidden effect fires this script. So this is the script that creates the adventure camp, right, for my mod, for example. Blah blah blah. We have it saved as Adventurer Child, right? It's already scoped to a character. So that's why we do the spawn camp, spawn army. That's why we do spawn army. Scoped already to the. We don't add the scope here because we already have it scoped here. You understand? Scoped adventure. Okay. I know I'm going fast, but you see why? Because this. It seems complicated, like a lot of stuff going on, but it's not important. I'm just showing you. Once you learn scope, target, you basically learn a lot of things, okay? Because that's the hard part, really, just making sure the scopes make sense. Because a lot of time the AI doesn't know it, so you, as the human being, should step in and teach these clankers a lesson, okay? So I think I've said everything that needs to be said. There are things like government, empty folder, game rules, very easy. It's all in the game, so you can easily just study it. The only thing I need to teach you are decisions. Very simple. There is one thing I do want to show you, right, in the game. Common. And that's a lot of folders. Will have an info folder, which has a lot of information on how these things work. Right? It's basically more documentation. So you want to make Casus Belli, you read documentation for this. You want to make a culture, here you go. Here's the documentation you need. Understand? Simple. Okay? Simple. Alright. So let's do a basic script, and then we'll do an advanced script using AI, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my GitHub. Let's do effective. Okay, I'm going to push this date real quick. Boom. Okay, so now what we're going to make is a new branch. Testing. I mean, do a tutorial. Okay, so tutorial. So now we have our own branch tutorial here in my GitHub. Alright. We'll publish it. Maybe I'll keep it in for now for people to use an example. Okay. So, let's say I want to make a script, right? Let's say I want to make a gooner script, right? A trait that fires an event for somebody to become a gooner, right? They want to crank the hog, right? Simple, okay? First thing is I already have the AI make it, or some shit, okay? Some trait. We're gonna make a trait icon first. I do 60 by 60. We're gonna put it in the GFX interface icons dynasty, right? We're gonna make it a DDS. I'm gonna change the name to gooner, okay? So this will be my gooner trait now, okay? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing gooner trait? I don't know. I don't want to give anybody my ideas for a good script, okay? So I'm gonna give you something that nobody should probably make. Okay? So let's start using AI. First, we're gonna make it. Well, how do we want this to work? We want it to fire on random on every ruler who is a human. Every character who's a human, right? We do every ruler who is a human, and it will fire an event if they want to crank the hog. If they crank the hog, they get the gooner trait. If they don't want to crank the hog, they don't get the gooner trait. Okay? They can get a bunch of stress down. Okay? So we'll make a new we'll make a new file on action called rise and fall gooner on actions. I keep myself organized. So I'll put on actions, for example. For script effect, I'll put SC at the end for script effects. That's just my personal preference. We're gonna save this as a bomb. Okay. And we're going to do yearly global pulse, right? We're going to start off with the on action, right? Now, for whatever reason, the AI is not good with the on actions, okay? So that's why this part I like to do manually. It's also very simple. Call it rise and fall gooner, okay? Rise and fall gooner, simple, okay? Rise, and then it was making a no real that, and then we'll make on action in here. Boom, simple, okay? Boom, that's it. Now we have it done. So, how do we make the AI do something here? We'll try. There's two I like using, GTP5 and Gronk. Gronk, they both have their strengths and pros. I don't know. Gronk like cooks like crazy sometimes, but sometimes it just makes some straight caca. GPT-5, same thing. So sometimes you gotta use both. All right. This one we'll use Gronk. This one because it's faster. Essence of time. So we'll tell what to do. It's good to lay out a framework. I am making a gooner script. Gooner script, yeah. Make the on action full limit for his AI equals. No, we want this to fire only for humans, right? Search documentation, vanilla files. How to make this work. Basically make this on action. Go into a new scripted effect that will fire an event. Keep it simple. I will work with you on this. Right? We don't want the AI to cook too much because they're going to start making some straight caca. Okay? Simple. This should be fine. We tell it to search augmentation, vanilla files, etc. That way it can use it as examples. So let's see what the AI comes up with. Is AI, see. It's coming up with that. So what is AI? Is this character played by an AI, right? We want this only fire for human characters, right? Limit is effect. Perfect. But it's missing one thing. I'll show you later. Just hopefully I remember. Effects. Fire vent, hallucinating. Not good. Not good. But that's what I want. That's why I want to show you this, because I'm gonna show you exactly how to fix all this stuff. Okay, look, I did make the framework simple. It made the framework. Okay. Now, your on action is missing every ruler, right? Because we want this to fire for every ruler. Okay. Okay. That's it. Fixed. We don't gotta touch this no more. This on action part is done. Next, let's go to the script effect. This, no good. No good. This is caca. So how do we fix this? Is not a valid syntax. Please search documentation and vanilla examples on how to fire and event correct. So we just teach the AI, yo, this is no good. This is poop. Okay, look, it's doing everything for you. Trigger event, I found it. Perfect, right? Boom, look at that, I fixed it. Simple. Change event ID to Gooner 1001. Boom, we're gonna change the name. I don't like this, so we'll change something simple. Okay, no problem. No problem. Changes the name. Gooner. Namespace. Let's see what's changing. Okay. This does not seem right? So it would be, we just manually fix this Gooner. We're going like that. Simple. Everything else looks correct. Trigger only, we get rid of this. Picture, we get rid of. Picture hallucinated. Okay. And it's almost done. Okay. Now search my event files to learn destructor. First option. Give trait. Okay, so just give the AI some instructions. What do we want to see out of this? You're like a manager, you're a supervisor, right? The AI is your worker. Right? It's your worker bee, okay? And it's making the localizations, doing it just fine. Crank the hog, stay bored. There we go, simple. But there is one thing we missed. We did not make the traits. This one's very simple. I'm not gonna ask the AI to do this. We just do good. Okay. Don't refeel good. Okay. And now everything works. Or should work. Okay. So let's run it. Let's run it. let's see if we get the Crank the Hog event, right? So by the end of the year, I should get Crank the Hog event, right? So here it is. Here it is. Did not fire. What? Why did it not fire? This is most strange, right? So, how do we debug this? Let's go into error logs. Let's search Gooner. What's the problem with Gooner? Why is Gooner not working? Oh, there we go. Invalid namespace. So this is how you can diagnose things, right? Like, error log is pretty good for this game. It messed it up. It should be Gooner like this, alright? That's what I'm seeing from the error logs. The AI did some bad things. Okay. So now... missing events on action. Ah, I see. You try to freaking make this happen, and it didn't work. So this should fix it. Okay. Let's just check while we're here. Trigger event ID. Yeah, here's how you would do it. See, the AI did do some bad things. Well, some of the things I make sure to try to in bomb so you avoid errors. Okay. Everything in made should be in bomb. So let's stop this. Especially localization. Localization has to be in the bomb or else it's not gonna work. Gooner. Alright, so now that we fix everything, everything should be peachy. Let's check it out. Sorry you can't see a date, I forgot, but it's okay. So we're on October now, November, December. Oh my goodness! Cranking the hog. I am feeling bored, what should I do? It's crank the fucking hog. Alright, there we go. We did mess up a little bit. I think the AI... Oh, should work. It's weird. Gooner DDS. Most interesting. Okay. Well, Nate, let me see how it works, right? Let me see the example I have here. See what it's most interesting. I feel like it should work. I'm not sure why it's not working, but should have had the trait added. Let's check the error log just in case. Let's see. Up the AI hallucinated again. That might have been why. Get rid of this. Okay, so we're gonna run this back, and then we're gonna work on the second strip because it's not important. Not that important, anyways. So. Okay, so we'll start working on the second script now. Edit the window character juice. So we're gonna make a magic system, right? We can call it the goon juice, right? The more gooning you do, the more goon energy you generate, right? So make. Let's just see if this works, because I am interested why this would not work. Huh. I think it's an issue with the picture, to be honest with you. The picture might not be acceptable. Oh, yeah. I forgot I put it in the wrong place. We have to put traits. There we go. Amateur mistake, guys. My bad. My bad, guys. Okay, a little brain fart. Let's get the localization here just for funsies. Okay. Alright. AI made some descriptions for it. Let's see what happens now. Now it should be fine. So yeah, that should work 100%. So this is gonna be a simple. This is how you make a simple script, right? A gooner script. Now we're gonna make the gooner give you gooner energy. We'll make it more advanced. We're gonna make like a magic system, right? Okay, just blah blah blah. If gooner, he's a gooner. Look at that. He's a gooner. This guy's a fucking gooner. All right, there we go. It's done. Okay, tutorial done. Time for the advanced script, you guys. No more messing around. Perfect. How are we gonna make magic system? We're gonna use variables, right? Variables is just basically a way of how you can track a variable on a character or a title, things like that. We're gonna do it on the character, right? So we're gonna make honestly a variable can be anything, right? It's up to your imagination what you want to do with the variable, right? So for example, we're gonna create a variable called gooner energy, right? I want to make a magic system. Let's start with an on action. If they have a trait called gooner, they will add a variable +1 +10 to their energy system. Okay. You will create a scripted effect for this that will edit the window character GUI and put it next to the adventure GS effects icon. Will show the variable of how much energy they have. Okay, I think this should be it. now basically just making a match system. This should be pretty fast. Quick, AI is now doing it. Perfect. Every rumor limit has gooner. Perfect. So every rule has a gooner trait. It's gonna fire the effect. Change variable, right? But the problem is, don't we need to set energy variable as well for changing the variable? So one thing I know is Grok is pretty decent at adding GUI. GPT-5 cannot do it, but Grok can. So I think Gronk has a lot of potential. If they Elon Musk goes onto something with Gronk, I won't lie to you. Like it knows. It knows. So I think variables need to set before we change it, right? So I'm just gonna tell the AI to study my other script and to see how I do it. I'm not 100%, like I've said, I'm not super advanced with this stuff. I've only been for like 2 months, but I think I've got the gist of it, right? So I'm just set variable. So we're gonna add a limit of has variable to this as well. Okay, we're almost done actually, surprisingly. So as you can see, I just made a magic system in almost like what 10 minutes. Obviously, you want to link it to a GUI. I'm not gonna make a GUI for a magic system, so we're gonna do a decision for now. Okay, and in the future, you could probably just make a GUI for it. Okay, if you want to make a magic system, for example, right? I'm not gonna make another magic system. I'm not gonna make another GUI. Magic system. It's gonna take too long, but you definitely get the gist of it, right? So. Create steal in action, blah blah blah, decisions. Type. Okay, so it's using this. Okay, magic system's done, you guys. Magic system is done. Everything looks fine. So let's do a little bit of gooning. Okay, crank the hog. There's my Gooner energy. Let's see if it works. check debug USC variable. So right now I don't have it because it didn't give me the on action yet. So if I hit the year, boom, 10. We got 10 gooner energy. I'm gonna crank the fucking hog again. Why not? All right. Boom, right here. Summon a mythical energy. Boom, it fires. But I believe the AI messed it up. Let me see. AI did mess up the create character effect, unfortunately. But you can see the gooner energy is going down. We literally just made a magic system in like 10 minutes with a GUI. Isn't that bananas, the power AI? Let's see what the problem with the decision is. Huh. Oh, there we go. It made some villainy up. This is not a thing. We're gonna get rid of this. This is no good. No good. So we have the 10 gooner energy. Nothing happens. Oh, it does happen. There we go. It's making the females. Making the females. There you go. See that? I'm not sure why it pops off here. I think it's not important. I think because of this, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not gonna work here. Most likely. It's okay though. It still works. So see, boom, we just made a bunch of gooner companions that are females. And that's just it's a magic system right there. That's it. It's done. It's working. Next, that's it. The tutorial is basically done. One thing I do want to show you. One thing I do want to show you is another usage of the AI. Alright, for example. Let's say we want to learn how something works, right? Can you let's say you want to learn how lifestyle perks works. Let's do that. I'm going to drag the folder in there. Have the AI study it. And you can basically get the AI to teach you how modding works. Look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? Would you look at that? Alright guys, there you go. Tutorial is basically done. If you have any questions, let me know. I won't be responding, but let me know. And have a good day, you guys.